Hello. Welcome everyone to a new yet very informative video that I personally believe should have been done a long time ago to properly help people both new to the scene and those returning to the scene of Mugen or IKEMEN. For this video will save you a lot of time and frustration when it comes to navigating to this niche hobby/community. Now, just saying this now, if you do not like the AI voice, that's fine. Just be sure to check the description on why I am using said voice, and if you can mute this and read the captions. Either way, this video is very important, for you will never find another video like this on YouTube, despite there being countless of Mugen Tutorials and IKEMEN tutorials. No one has actually seemed to have made a guide, guiding new and returning users on what to do in regards of Mugen or IKEMEN. So I decide to step up to the plate and do it for you. That being said, let's start with the most important thing, and that is a refresher, a reminder on what Mugen/IKEMEN is. Mugen is a free 2D fighting game engine created in 1999. It is an engine that allows anyone to create their own fighting games using characters, stages, music, and screen packs made by the community. It can also be used to take assets from pre-existing games and implementing them onto the engine itself. Think of it like a sandbox where you can put Goku versus Naruto versus Spider-Man versus Kratos in one game. Pretty cool, right? Now, here's the pros of Mugen. Huge amount of content available. Very customizable. Runs on almost any PC including Android devices and gaming PC handhelds. Now, the honest cons to keep in mind. Older engine can be unstable, especially with version 1.1 of Mugen being a beta. Can be confusing for absolute beginners. Luckily, this guide exists. Now, onto IKEMEN. IKEMEN is the modern successor to Mugen. It was built to fix many of the limitations of the original Mugen engine while keeping the same core idea, letting anyone create 2D fighting games. Now for the pros of IKEMEN. Much better performance and stability, less crashing. Supports higher resolution and better graphics. Easier to add and edit characters' stages, meaning you can just add the zip or RAR file of the character onto the chars folder, and it can still work. More modern features, better zoom, hit detection, scaling, etc. Actively updated and still growing. Runs smoother on newer PCs. Now for the honest cons. Smaller selection of content compared to Mugen, though it's growing fast. Some older Mugen characters need to be converted to work properly. Slightly steeper learning curve if you want to do advanced editing. Less vintage feel that some old school fans prefer. Now that you have a complete understanding of both engines or is now refreshed on it, let's get started and get with the first thing you must do and avoid when being new to the communities or returning to it. 1. First things first, here's the real shit nobody tells you up front. Do not immediately jump into the forums, especially places like AK1, Mugen Archive, or r/Mugen looking for handholding. And if you do go there, only use them as what they are, which is archives. And avoid reaching out to staff or interacting with the staff there for these forums, despite how popular they are, have the most toxic and problematic people in moderation. Normalize being a lurker to grab what you need and bounce. I know it sounds ironic coming from someone making a Mugen video, but it's facts. The Mugen scene has a long-running problem. New players and returning vets post for help, and then just sit there in silence while crickets chirp. The support sections are flooded, and a lot of experienced people have burnout or just don't check every thread. Instead, camp hard on YouTube first. That's where most of the actual teaching happens right now. Watch a bunch of beginner guides, how to add characters videos and full playthroughs. Treat it exactly like entering a new fandom. Consume content, learn the basics, figure out the lingo, then dip your toes into the social side. And when it comes to the social forums, the ones I recommend this year is MFFA, Mugen, DoomJoshuaBoy, and Mugen Guild in regards of a more peaceful and rational community atmosphere. I also really recommend their Discords because they are great once you know enough to ask smart questions and not get flamed for basic stuff. Give yourself time to build confidence before jumping in. You'll thank yourself later. 2. Choosing the right MUGEN version. Some people start with the old WinMUGEN and have a great time, especially if they only want to play with classic characters from the early days. That's perfectly fine for them. However, for most new players in 2026, I recommend starting with MUGEN 1.1. It's more stable, runs better on modern computers, and has way better compatibility with newer characters and content. There's also IKEMEN Go, which a lot of people are switching to because it has modern features and looks cleaner, but it still has less content available compared to regular MUGEN. The key is to check what version a character or stage was made for before downloading it. A lot of frustration for beginners comes from mixing versions without realizing it. Some people figure this out quickly. Others waste hours troubleshooting, so knowing this early can save you a ton of headaches. 3. Now we can get into where you get your characters, stages, and screen packs from actually matters. A lot of experienced players do perfectly fine grabbing stuff from various forums and older sites they already know. But for new players, it's easy to get overwhelmed or end up with broken files or other issues they aren't aware of. For Mugen Archive.com, it is still one of the biggest and most organized spots in 2026. A lot of people use it with no problems and find great content there. However, they're known for having strict rules. They can limit downloads or hand out bans, IP bans, pretty quickly if they think you're just leeching, downloading without posting. Some features and higher limits require VIP paid, so keep that in mind. AK1, Anderson Kenya 1, is another popular forum. Some users love it for certain exclusive stuff, but it also has a reputation for admin drama and periods of low activity from the owner. The reality is both of the biggest sites have their issues. Many experienced players navigate them just fine, but new users can get stressed dealing with sudden restrictions or drama. My advice: it's completely okay to lurk at first. Browse without making an account if you can. If you do need to sign up, use a throwaway email. Trust me, you have to, since information has came out that the admin for AK1 did use a user's email to sign them up for things they didn't consent to, and have even threatened to leak their IP. It shows that can happen to anyone that she isn't pleased with. Don't rush to post, and read the rules carefully. Download 1 or 2 things at a time, test them, and go slow. If you still don't feel comfortable on these sites, no worries, you can easily check out normal Mugen forums that don't have a bad rep, such as Mugen Free for All, Mugen Guild, and a new site called Mugen. DoomJoshuaBoy.com. All links will be in the description. You can even look for starter packs or full builds on these sites. They're still the fastest way for beginners to get playing without the headache. Bottom line, stay cautious, scan files with antivirus, and don't get too attached to any one site. The MUGEN scene has always been a bit messy like this. 4. Still on the topic of downloading stuff, remember, don't download 500C characters on day 1. This is probably the biggest mistake new players make. You discover MUGEN, find a huge archive, and suddenly you're downloading everything. Anime characters, comic characters, horror characters, full screen packs, hundreds of stages, and entire collections from random YouTube videos. Don't do that. Start small. Download maybe 10-20 characters you actually care about, add a few stages, test everything. Learn how the folders work, learn how SelectDef works, learn how to troubleshoot when something doesn't show up. The reason I say this is because when something breaks, and eventually something will break, you'll have no idea what caused it if you've installed 500 things at once. I've seen people spend an entire weekend trying to figure out why MUGEN won't start anymore, only to discover one bad character or stage they downloaded 6 months ago. A clean roster is a happy roster, especially if you take the time to know what you're putting in said roster instead of mindlessly adding said things unto it. Think of MUGEN like building a custom gaming PC. You don't throw every part into the case at once and hope for the best. You add things gradually, test them, and make sure everything works before moving on. Create backup folders. Keep copies of your select.def. Keep copies of your favorite characters. And once your build is stable, make a complete backup before adding anything new. Trust me, future you will be grateful. The players who enjoy MUGEN the longest are ones with the biggest and well-organized rosters. 5. Don't believe every YouTube showcase you see. This one might upset some people, but it needs to be said. Not every MUGEN or IKEMEN video you see on YouTube represents what you're actually going to get when you download something. A lot of showcase videos are perfectly legitimate. The creator downloads a character, records some gameplay, and uploads it. Nothing wrong with that. But there are also plenty of videos that use private edits, custom patches, hidden AI modifications, edited game footage, or characters that were never publicly released. You'll see titles like New Broken GOKU, DSDROYS Everything, Ultimate God Tier Character, Best Character Ever CRATED. And then you spend an hour trying to find it only to discover the download link is dead, private, paywalled, or worst of all, gatekept in the first place. Sometimes the character exists. Don't get me wrong, some of them can be public and is ready for download, but remember, there is a thing called match frauding in which, for example, people like Tornio Mugen have done. And basically, if you don't know what match frauding is, it's basically where the video creator heavily modified the video/character before recording to make it seem like they can win a match against the very character they are fighting, only for people to get it and find out they would actually lose to it. And let's not forget other times the video was made years ago and the original download disappeared long ago. This is especially common with AI battles and overpowered character showcases. So before getting excited, always ask yourself, is there a download link? Does the creator say where it came from? Do other people in the comments actually have it? Is it publicly available? If the answer to most of those questions is no, don't waste your time hunting for it. Focus on building a roster with content you can actually download, test, and enjoy. And while we're talking about YouTube, be careful with random download links. Never blindly download files from shortened links, suspicious websites, or videos with no explanation of where the content came from. Use common sense. Scan files with antivirus software. If something feels sketchy, it probably is. The MUGEN community has produced thousands upon thousands of amazing characters over the years. You don't need to chase mysterious, secret characters that may not even be real. Build your collection around content that is publicly available, properly credited, and easy to find again later. You'll save yourself a lot of frustration. 6. Learn basic troubleshooting before asking for help. Now, before anyone gets offended, I'm not saying you should never ask for help. And I know I did mention this a bit in the first part of this, but I wanted to further expand on this. So, the MUGEN and IKEMEN communities exist for a reason, and there are plenty of people willing to help when they can. What I am saying is that learning a few basic troubleshooting skills will save you hours of frustration and will make it much easier for others to help you when you do need assistance. One of the most common beginner posts looks something like this. My character doesn't work. My game crashes. My screen pack is broken. And that's the entire post. The problem is that nobody can help with almost no information. Before asking for help, always check the basics first. Did you place the character in the correct folder? Did you add the character correctly to select.def? Did you spell the folder name correctly? Did you accidentally delete a file? Did the download come with instructions that you skipped? Are you trying to use a character made for a different engine version? Did the game generate an error log? Many problems are solved in less than 5 minutes simply by double-checking these things. Another good habit is learning where MUGEN and IKEMEN store error information. If the game crashes and gives you an error message, take a screenshot. Copy the error text. Save the log file. That information can often tell you exactly what went wrong. And if you eventually need to ask for help, you'll immediately get better responses because people can see the actual problem instead of guessing. A good help request should include what version of Mugen or IKEMEN you're using, what character, stage, or screen pack you're trying to install, what exactly happens when the problem occurs, any error messages you received, screenshots if possible. The more information you provide, the faster people can help you. Remember, troubleshooting is a skill. You don't have to become a coder or an engine expert overnight. Just learning the basics will make your experience smoother, help you solve many problems yourself, and make you a much better member of the community when you do need assistance. A little troubleshooting knowledge goes a very long way in Mugen and IKEMEN. And heck, if you want extra help with troubleshooting on Mugen, DoomJoshuaBoy, we do have amazing tools that no Mugen forum ever has that can help with whatever errors you are facing, so you're free to sign up and join that community and give those tools a go. We're also always open to feedback in case you need any assistance as well. 7. Don't turn Mugen or IKEMEN into a full-time job. This is probably the most important piece of advice in this entire video. At some point, almost every Mugen or IKEMEN player falls into the same trap. They stop playing the game. Instead, they spend all their time downloading characters, downloading stages, downloading screen packs, downloading updates, downloading edits, downloading collections, downloading things they'll probably never even use. Before they know it, they've spent 3 weeks organizing folders and haven't actually played a single match. Don't let that happen to you. No matter how many characters you download, you'll always discover another cool character tomorrow. No matter how many stages you install, you'll always find another amazing stage next week. No matter how complete your collection becomes, somebody will upload something new eventually. The content never ends. And that's okay. Mugen and IKEMEN aren't competitions to see who can collect the most files. They're engines meant to be enjoyed. Play arcade mode. Run tournaments. Watch AI battles. Create dream matches. Build themed rosters. Experiment with weird character combinations. Have fun with it. That's the whole point. Some of the happiest people in this community are running rosters with only 50 or 100 carefully chosen characters because they actually know and enjoy every character they installed. Meanwhile, other people have 10,000 characters spread across multiple hard drives and spend more time sorting folders than playing. There is no right or wrong way to enjoy Mugen or IKEMEN. Just don't lose sight of why you started in the first place. You came here to have fun, not to create extra work for yourself or take this too seriously. So build your roster, customize your game, download cool content, and explore the community. But every once in a while, stop organizing things and actually press start. Because at the end of the day, Mugen and IKEMEN are games. And games are meant to be played. That is all. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're already ahead of a lot of people who jump into Mugen or IKEMEN completely blind. Follow these tips, take things slow, and you'll avoid most of the mistakes that cause newcomers to quit. Welcome to the community, and good luck because you will need it. And remember, Mugen is for fun, never meant to take in that seriously, so avoid the users who take it too far. Also, don't forget, I've also created an entire Mugen and IKEMEN beginner guide thread in my Discord as well, so you're free to join and check that out when you can. Goodbye.